A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon deep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The dungeon labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
Presentation.
Welcome to the Magic Mile, high atop New Hampshire Motor Speedway. We are ready to go for round number 5 of the second season of 2025 for the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series. Welcome into tonight's coverage of the big old one-miler here on Turn 200. It's Tommy Cook, it's Joshua Motichek, partner. Welcome to the Magic Mile. I was just up here on vacation about a month ago. Beautiful part of the country, absolutely gorgeous landscape, and a wonderful racing facility as well, as we're getting ready to host, I think, about 36 drivers here on this small 1 mile paperclip.
Yeah, I feel like this is just an oversized Martinsville without an inside wall. Track runs great, so I'm super excited to see what they can turn down.
Absolutely. Qualifying is getting ready to get underway, and why don't we take a look at the point standings after last week. It's my understanding that the driver on the bubble there, Rene Garcia, is no longer going to be a part of the series, unfortunately. We'll see if that changes, and maybe he will change his mind and get back into the fray here. But outside of that, they are tightly packed in right around the bubble from 11th down to 16th, and a big tight grouping there from 4th down to 8th as well, all separated by 16 points, with your big movers up the board last week being Nathan Carroll there in the 4th position, and Charlie Widener now above the cut line as well. Very interesting lay of the land here after round number 4.
Yeah, definitely a lot of names that we did not see up here for most of last season. I mean, one name that jumps in my face is Ryan Nardone. He's had a great season thus far. I mean, he's had a lot of great consistent finishes. So excited to see what he can do for the middle part of the season.
Certainly Nardone, 2 podiums in the 4 races thus far this season, still looking for that first win in his first full-time bid with the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series. So excited to see this run continue for him. A lot of underdog drivers on the right side of this graphic as well, some above, some below the cut line, and a lot of heavy hitters below and well below this cut line, not even on the graphic. A lot of drivers will be hoping to turn their championships around with a solid run here this evening at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Let's get you to the action on track as one-lap qualifying is underway. As we'll look for who is making a little noise here. Why don't we go with the New Hampshire driver himself? This is the home track of Scott Patton, and he is on the clock. He's raced here in real life in the 24 Hours of Lemons. He's very familiar with this property. Home to the New England Racing Museum, which he proudly sports on the quarter panels. Scott Patton to the stripe. And no surprise, top of the board, 30.59 for driver 46. But who, if anybody, can best that? Let's check in with Seth Foudy, who is making his first appearance in a long time with the MaxV CNC Home Design Truck Series. It wasn't even the CNC Home Design Truck Series the last time Foudy started a race back in Daytona, round number 8 of 2023. Great to have Foudy back at the field here tonight, provisionally 9th, as Tyler Hesseling across the line will move himself up into 3rd. Greg Mall is coming across the stripe here. He is now on the clock, as other drivers starting to look to post times. Alex Howland will be the next one across the line. We'll see where Howland is going to clock in. Hello to the Moticheks, Robin and Bailey. Appreciate you hanging out. Appreciate anybody else that's going to stop by here this evening. Howland will go P9 out of 13 drivers that have posted a time. Here comes Greg Mall to the stripe. Mall with a little slide there through 3 and 4. It'll cost him some time, and he will clock in P8. So nobody's got anything for Patton right now. Floyd, Hesseling, Stewart, and Granat, your top 5. As we'll jump over to Billy Bumgardner, who is having a whale of a season thus far. 3 out of the 4 races thus far this season, he's scored a top 10. And last week, it was a P5 for Bumgardner and all the chaos and calamity and the finish of that race, as Bumgardner will go P11 now in qualifying. Hello to Lisa Carroll and Rob Martin hanging out with us here. As we go looking, Ryan Nardone across the stripe, and he will go 10th fastest. That time didn't post there for a second. Scared me. As Chris Howell now will come across the line, and he will go 4th. Great qualifying lap for him. Rob Martin is on the clock now, first time back in a couple of weeks, and he's going to go for a slide there out of turn number 2. A kiss of the outside wall, and that will be the end of his qualifying run, unfortunately. David Moore sliding through 3 and 4, and around he goes. Zachary Groover gets to post a time. Here's Kerry Cleaver. And Chris Braley through 3 and 4. And into the wall he goes, so that lap will not count for Braley, unfortunately. So many ways to run this track. You'll see the low line work, the middle line work. The high line, it's not quite banked enough for the high line to get moving and shaking here, but that doesn't mean some folks won't try it or be forced to try it after they get rooted out of that darker patch there down low. There was a driver back in the day that had a very interesting way of getting around New Hampshire Motor Speedway, and that was getting underneath the white line and running the apron and using all the grip down on the flat, keeping it clean. And it worked out quite nicely for that driver. I don't think anybody is going to be as bold as to try that again. As we've got 36 drivers in the field, only 19 are able to post a lap. Another 10 or so tried to get a lap in, but could not post the time on the board for one reason or another. So this is how we will set the lineup here this evening at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Round number 5 of the season will be led to green by Scott Patton, the New Hampshire native. Still looking for that first win here on the channel. Here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway anyway. Dakota Floyd will line up to his outside. Tyler Hesseling and Chris Howell on row number 2. It's Kyle Stewart and Tyler Granat on row number 3. Joshua Fracker and CJ McLaughlin on row number 4. And it's Greg Mull and Trent Drum. Nice qualifying run for driver 14 starting in P10. Ryan Nardone back in 11th with Alex Howland to his outside. And Kerry Cleaver, Billy Bumgardner on row number 7. It's Zachary Groover, Parker Donaldson back there in P16. Seth Foudy, Nathan Carroll, Logan Murray, and Heath Smith, the top 20. Justin Michael, no time on the board. We'll start in 21st with Justin Ritchie to his outside. Stove Price Jr., Mike Milfeld Jr. on row 12. Johnny Hampy's back tonight for the first time this season. He'll line up at 25th with Jack Watts to his outside. Jordan East and last week's big winner, Charlie Widener, lining up in P28. On row number 15, it'll be Brandon Groover on the inside, David Rigsby on the outside, Brad Slagle, Chris Surgeon, David Moore, Rob Martin, Josh Longbonds, Michael Vann, and Chris Braley. 37 drivers, in fact, getting ready to roll out of the pits here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway and actually getting ready to roll down the front straightaway as they don't line up in the pits for whatever reason. But that gives us a little bit more time to confer with our color commentator all season long, Mr. Joshua Motichek. Any strategy notes, anything that these drivers need to know and the race fans need to know before we get rolling here at New Hampshire?
Don't die. No. So 3 extra sets of tires as per usual. I think tires are definitely going to be very important tonight with as flat as this track is. You're gonna burn off the right front pretty quick. No fast repairs, so keeping it clean is going to be important. Incident limits do stand. 16x is a drive-through, 21 is a disqualification. So definitely watch out for guys tank slapping the wall coming off the corner. You pick up 2x's pretty quick doing it that way. 70% fuel should put the pit window around lap 60 for fuel. However, I think it will be a little bit sooner than that for tires. 150 laps is the full distance tonight, which will put the stage brake caution at the end of lap 45. So definitely a little bit of a longer run to the stage here tonight.
You see a bunch of people pulling over to the side. There were a lot of EOL penalties for the start of this race. That could be why Justin Michael elected not to post a qualifying time. He was one of those drivers that will have to start at the back of this field. We're gearing up, though, for the Magic Mile, as I actually don't think we are gearing up. I think we've extended the pace lap. So, ungear, but keep it close by, because we'll be going green next time around. To point out, you said about tire wear, I agree. I think the right front will definitely be an issue here. I also think, for anybody that may remember, we haven't raced here since the long season. One time, we had a great battle between Andrew Schulte and Justin Michael, but it came down to the right rear tire becoming way too hot, way too slippery for Justin Michael to hold on and hold off Andrew Schulte. And this truck has only gotten less aerodynamically reinforced and more loose in the rear since then. So not only do you have to worry about the right front, you got to worry about the rear tires. Really, the only one you're not worried about is the left front. I'd say unhook the front ARB and let that left front carry all the way through the turns, and then we'll be talking.
Hey, I already mentioned it being a dirt track.
Yeah, absolutely. Just don't let Scott Patton hear you say that. Pace truck is off. We are going to get rolling here with Patton in control of this field. We're underway. 150 laps at the Magic Mile. We'll see who is feeling magic here into turn number 1. Patton will take the whole shot. Hesseling underneath Gradot. Looking to take second, as they're nearly 3 wide behind them for third. Gradot trying to slip away, as most of the field goes single file down the backstretch.
Pretty tidy start so far. Patton off to the early lead. Granat and Stewart now are the first 2 wide down the front stretch.
Stewart down low, trying to challenge Granat with the position. Rolling that middle is a little slap there out of the corner for Stewart. And Stewart will fall back in line. Stewart back up on the points graphic after missing a race. I don't think the results have quite been what Stewart has been hoping for this season, especially compared to how he's been running. Always up here in the top 5, and it doesn't ever seem like he gets the finish to go with it. But still in the hunt for the chase as they run currently. How about CJ McLaughlin here in P5? Greg Mall right behind him. Top 6 have broken away from Joshua Fracker and everybody behind them, as Patton continuing to pace Hesseling here. Gradot now with Stewart underneath once again, headed into 3. You see Stewart getting loose on entry, walking it up the track about half a lane. It may work out in his favor, though, as it gets Gradot upset through the middle of the turn.
Man, McLaughlin into the wall hard.
Looks like Chris Braley is on pit road currently, as Granat headed the wrong direction here.
Yeah, Greg Mall going to find himself now into that P4 position, looking to track down the podium positions.
Good early run for Mall. You mentioned this being just 2 times Martinsville. Greg Mall owns Martinsville in the Max V CNC Home Design Truck Series, so it at least translates enough, as evident by a +5 run already for Mall. You can see already drivers hanging it out of turn number 2. We just saw it there with Joshua Fracker. Mall was kicking the rear end out a little bit as well. I think tire temperature, especially with a track temperature of 115 degrees. A lot of braking here in these trucks. These tires are going to take punishment here, no doubt. These drivers will be counting the laps down to the stage if we don't have a caution before then. We'll keep our eye on the battles at the front of this field. They'll materialize quickly. But this is the gaggle further back, as that was one driver way out of shape. Charlie Widener tracking it all the way down to the paint there down the backstretch to hang on to that one.
Yeah, you mentioned it earlier, but Widener actually down below that line through 1 and 2.
Trent Drum just caught a piece of the wall there out of 4. It allows Nathan Carroll to go through. He was battling with Kerry Cleaver and Justin Ritchie for spots inside the top 10, as Kyle Stewart was looking to the inside of Greg Mall. Mall running in 3rd. Talk about drivers moving in the right direction. One driver that is going the wrong direction is Billy Baumgartner, back to 20th. And they are all packed in tightly around him currently, up stuck on the top side of the track. Good run for Kerry Cleaver this far inside the top 10. We'll have Nathan Carroll looking to his inside.
Still lots of time to be had before the stage caution. Looking at about a 1.5-second lead for Patton.
Yeah, Patton with a comfortable advantage. Looking like we may have our first repeat stage winner of the season if all continues to roll this way. As looks like Seth Foudy is on and off pit road, perhaps. I think actually Foudy is running such a low line through turn 3 and 4 that he's actually juking the whoever is running the pit road entry list, because he is definitely not making a pit stop, and that's, according to my race software, that's the 2nd or 3rd time he's been down pit road.
Yep, there he goes, right down almost to the grass.
Foudy is moving forward. Started 17th up to 14th. And making a move on Alex Howland. Surely a first-time meeting between those two.
Yeah, Foudy definitely seeming to have that very, very low line definitely working in his favor.
And that is a driver that's done their homework or has done a lot of laps here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, because that has worked here in Max V in the past, that exact line. Here is Fracker and Ritchie side by side for P8. Justin Ritchie, another driver like Kyle Stewart that has run well this season. It has not got the finishes to go with it. Last week finished 32nd, and that was his 2nd best finish of the 4 races thus far. He's run way better than that. As you saw, Heath Smith rocking onto the scene here very quickly. He'll challenge Nathan Carroll for the 10th spot here momentarily. Looks like Hessling and Mall drawing nearer. Could be a battle for second here in just a couple laps' time. CJ McLaughlin is pulling up to Tyler Granat as well. And Ryan Nardone creeping into this battle as well.
Yeah, starting to see a couple of different 3 and 4 car packs forming. So definitely a little bit of straightaway aero maybe coming into play. Starting to group these trucks up a little bit.
Justin Michael, remember, had an EOL to start this race. He is up to 20th already.
Dakota Floyd as well, up to 16th.
Yes, indeed. Floyd qualified on the outside front row, didn't get to start there. He finds himself in the middle of an absolute mess and making a little contact there with Kerry Cleaver as well. In and around Alex Howland, Parker Donaldson, Stowe Price Jr. And a big welcome back to the familiar Gibson Guitar Chevrolet of Johnny Hamby for the first time this season. Great to have Johnny back on track with Max V.
3 wide just behind them.
What a mess. Kerry Cleaver starting to move backwards.
Justin Michael now in that mix.
Seth Fowdy continuing to pick his way methodically
around. There
through
goes
the field
Cleaver.
as there is Kerry Cleaver around down the front stretch, and the caution is out.
Oh.
That's tight. So we'll take a look at this one. I mean, they're 3 wide. There's Milfelt underneath Donaldson and Howland, and now it's going to be 4 wide. Just for a brief second as Milfelt shoots Donaldson up into Cleaver. And we'll send our series sponsor spinning and selling seashells by the seashore as well, for good measure. Let's back this up a little bit. Let's see what old Charlie Widener sees out of the front of his truck. I actually don't think that was Charlie. That was behind the accident. I'm not sure who I saw there. I clicked on Charlie Widener, and it showed me somebody random. Okay, so I wasn't going crazy. Here we go. Yeah, disaster written all over it. Charlie nearly running into his teammate Mike Milfelt to try and get away from that. The damage shouldn't be too bad for Kerry Cleaver.
If any, the only thing he touched was the other truck.
Yes, indeed.
So very, very skillfully handled to not nose down into the wall for sure.
Started this race with 37 drivers. Looks like 36 of them still out on the track, and 35 are on the lead lap. Chris Braley will, I believe, have the opportunity to take the lucky dog here. Looks like he will do that. That will put him, I believe, 2 laps down. Scott Patton's led every lap thus far, but now he has to contend with Greg Mall. And we missed the pass for a second. I just had it queued up. I'm going to go back and try and take a look at this pass Greg Mall made on Tyler Hesseling. I don't think it's anything crazy, but, you know, just for documentation's sake. Mall was doing a nice job picking his way up through the field. Started ninth. Hesseling a little bit out of shape there on the top side, and Mall just going to be able to outduel him here into turn number 3. So that is how Mall finds his way to the outside pole here for this restart. Hesseling and Stewart on row 2, Granat and McLaughlin on row 3, Nardone and Ritchie row 4, Carroll and Smith. Your top 10 is lap 23. We'll go on the board this time. Back at her way. Little checking up there on that inside line. But Patton quickly up to cover off Mall. And Mall down to try and cover off Hesseling.
Already 3 wide further back. It's Floyd on the outside, Hamby. Oh, Hamby loose into the corner.
Oh, boy. Foudy still rolling that low line. Hangs on to 11th. As Floyd, Fracker, Hamby, Howell, Michael all battling for position. I mean, Foudy is just rolling. Here's Granat and Ritchie side by side. As Mall and Hesseling are a bit staggered up front. They may be looking to go to battle. That just looks hilarious. Watching the Mobile One machine of Foudy working the low line. Here they go. Hesseling down low. Mall looking for a little momentum off the middle. Hesseling might have the advantage here on the bottom. Right on the door there through the middle of the turn. Mall pushing hard right up to the wall. And they still go side by side. Now 1 second behind Scott Patton.
Yeah, these 2 door-to-door is definitely what Patton wants to see in his review.
McLaughlin had to roll out of it and go to the top side of the track to keep it out of the tailgate of Kyle Stewart. As, whoa, we got one around in the back of the field. And that is Chris Howell. They scattered to get around that 88 truck as the caution is out for the second time. They were juking and jiving every which way as Howell got into the outside wall. We'll see how he got there. Don't mind me. Here we go. Oh, Howell moving up the track just a bit. And I think Fracker is going to move up because he sees Mall coming. Just ricochet off the wall just a little bit, and down into Howell he goes. So it's somehow confined to just those two. It was right in Justin Michael's lap, and he missed it quite nicely. As this, again, is just not going to the truck that I'm asking it to go to. I gotta click around like a buffoon. Yeah. That was unfortunate. I mean, you can probably speak to this, though. Having to run right outside, right up against the wall, I mean, that's really... It's kind of claustrophobic at times, especially, you know, if the track sort of shoots you up there. Stuff like that is bound to happen.
Yeah, I think kind of claustrophobic is a bit of an understatement. It definitely is. I mean, it's anytime that happens to me, audibly, I just hang on to it.
I'm sure.
But, yeah.
I'm sure they were both moaning and groaning about that one. So Howell will definitely have some damage to fix. I don't think it's anything race-ending. He needs to keep himself on the lead lap here as him and Fracker will both roll. They're both having decent runs as well. That came just outside of the top 10, and they've both been in the top 10 at certain points here in this race thus far. So a lot of work to do, but now another caution coming up here with the stage soon. And you'll have to remind me what lap that we're chasing here for the stage, because I cannot remember.
It'll be lap 45.
Okay, thank you. Been a long
One
day,
driver.
and sometimes, the numbers, there's so many numbers out there on the tracks, sometimes the important numbers just go in one ear and right out the other. Go ahead, though.
Yeah. One driver who definitely is liking the cautions, I would assume, is Seth Foudy. I mean, that bottom line coming off the corner, I mean, nobody else is running it, so he doesn't have to slow down for anyone.
Now, the problem for Foudy is he's going to have to find his way to the bottom to keep working his way up this field. Started 17th, he is up to 8th. And he has certainly found the magic in the Magic Mile here at New Hampshire. Patton and Mall back to the green. Lap number 30, 16 to go before we see the stage caution. Mall not able to cover off Hessling this time, as it will be the 43 underneath. The blue oval side by side out of 2 with Patton in control.
Yeah, Hessling did a great job on that restart to be on it, not to lose out on that spot.
Riding with Kyle Stewart. So lots of shuffling through this field.
Foudy has found the bottom and has already found his way past 2 trucks, up to 6th.
Foudy doing incredible work here. You see, he crosses that line. That's not the actual commitment line that those drivers have to abide by. It's tricking the computer, but it's not tricking the sim itself. So that's why that's legal. As Foudy, whoa, right up onto the left rear quarter panel of Justin Ritchie, and that nearly got that 3 turned around. Ritchie and Foudy, the 2 big movers of the race thus far, and they are converging here in and around the top 5.
With a massive dive bomb down into 3, they're going to get crossed over. That's going to make Justin Michael and Tyler Grenot check up big.
Michael into the points for the stage. Whoa, that's McLaughlin sideways,
he's still going.
That truck unloaded back up the straightaway, and he'll find his way into the wall, but keeps on trucking, still in 8th. Ritchie up into the quarter panel of Stewart there as Foudy's looking for a big run out of 4, finds his way underneath Ritchie. Oh, man. I mean, I'll get a good shot of it next time. That wall is incredibly close to where Foudy's running there down low in turns 1 and 2. He's right up against it there. Forget the green flag pit stops. He's not going to be able to run that line either because they'll have trucks coming out on that lane. But he's going to find himself now on the bottom of 3 wide. See if he takes the line here. Slows down, grabs a gear, and he's going to keep it more in the confines of the track this time, of course. Struggling a bit with rear grip. 2.5 lead for Scott Patton. You're not missing anything for the top spot. Mall in 2nd, Hessling in 3rd, and the party is coming to those 2 as Dakota Floyd is into the mix now, up to 6th. What a shame. It's only 10 laps to the stage because these guys are going hard up here. Would love to see these guys be able to race it out even further.
Yeah, it's just getting good.
Yes, it is.
Oh, McLaughlin again off the wall hard.
It looked like Heath Smith had to chase his truck down to the paint there, down the backstretch as well. Foudy looking to sneak into fourth. And he has got the spot. I tell you what, Scott Patton might very well cruise to this stage victory, but it is not going to be smooth sailing once we drop the green again after this upcoming caution. He is going to have Foudy, Richie, Floyd, Michael, and anybody else that wants a crack at him to deal with.
Yeah, second half of the race is a lot longer than the first.
Mm-hmm.
Now Stewart and Michael side by side.
Yes, indeed. Oh, contact there. As those two got a little crossed up. And again, more contact. And Michael will take the spot.
Man, Foudy just barely cleared the nose of Hessling.
Hessling sliding there. Next up for Foudy is going to be Greg Mall. Oh, and you can see really, really loose as soon as he turned that down. He's been grabbing that gear as sort of his go point to roll the bottom of the track and roll the apron. You can see the rear tires started to step out underneath of him that time. A little bit more coordinated there through 1 and 2. We'll go kickbot cam here.
Michael and Richie now door to door just behind him.
Michael continuing to move up the running order here. Dakota Floyd is knocking on the door. Tyler Hessling here with now 4.5 laps to go in the stage. As that was again, McLaughlin way out of shape there, out of 2. Trying to hold on for one stage point here. Battle's all over. New Hampshire is racing good. Floyd is through on Hessling. Michael trying to catch up to the 43, and he is hanging it out big time out of 2. And Maul doing all he can to try and fend off Seth Foudy. Looks like Charlie Widener has picked up the Foudy line as well.
Yeah, Widener and Smith, they're running it more on entry and middle corner than exit. Foudy definitely still the lowest truck on the track coming off of turn 4.
Not able to complete that pass there on Maul for second. Coming to 2 to go in the stage this time. There's Scott Patton. It's been a while since he's been in the camera shot.
Foudy now right at the door of Maul.
Just heard somebody down in the grass as Foudy is clear by a few inches, if that. Final lap for the stage. Foudy to second. Unless he decides to Chastain it here, it's up to Scott Patton to win this stage. Patton will come around at turns 3 and 4 and be the first repeat stage winner of the second season of 2025 thus far. Patton with the stage win. It is Seth Foudy in his return in second. Greg Wall in third. Dakota Floyd in fourth. Tyler Hessling in fifth. Sixth for Justin Michael. Kyle Stewart in seventh. Nathan Carroll in eighth. Justin Ritchie in ninth. And how about Stove Price Jr. there up to 10th in the closing laps. A couple of the early stage front runners slipping back there late. Tyler Granat back to 13th. CJ McLaughlin back to 14th. Ryan Nardone is back to 15th. Christopher Howell and Josh Fracker after their accident, 24th and 25th. I would imagine everybody's coming down pit road here. Yes, they are.
I don't see why you wouldn't.
No. Race off goes to Patton, Foudy, Mall, Floyd, Hessling, your top five, Michael, Stewart, Carroll, Ritchie, and Price Jr. The top 10, pretty much exactly the order they came in. Very interesting. Kerry Cleaver, who was the first caution of the night, looks like a little strategy mix-up for him. He's up to 12th. He's really the only driver to move up or down the leaderboard here after this round of pit stops.
Yeah, wondering if maybe he took a little bit less fuel than everyone else, knowing it was a tire strategy game.
Yep, he's coming back down. So that was short-lived. Either way.
My strategy notes stand corrected.
So I believe that is Parker Donaldson. Yep, we'll give him a little bit of TV time. He always gets some love in the chat. Hello to Zach Magris, Real Everton, hanging out with us here this evening. It's been a while since I've had the opportunity to look at the chat, even with a couple of cautions here. This has been an action-packed race, and I think it's just heating up as Patton will take the inside, and Foudy is going to have to work for his real estate down on the bottom. And once these two get to battle, we'll see if Patton will have an answer for Foudy. We are underway here. Lap 49 on the board this time.
Foudy, enough of a gap. He's able to...
Oh, boy!
Check up.
That was incredibly close. Maul now breaks out of what could have been 3 wide there out of 2, but he's to the inside now. Dakota Floyd for third. As Foudy loses the nose and is up into the wall. And Foudy will drop from second down to 6th as we got problems at the back of the field. Problems for Zachary Groover around in turn number 4, and we are back at our caution now for the 4th time. With 100 laps to go, we are closing in on what has been the average caution count here at New Hampshire. As we'll take a look at what happens here to Groover, the 27 truck. Here's Alex Hallen in the 6, Jack Watson the 77, and I think just fresh tires on a hot track is what is going to bite Zachary Groover. I would imagine that's probably the point where he went to grab a gear. And I would imagine the truck just did not like that. We'll ride along here and maybe confirm our suspicions. Oh, he had not grabbed the gear yet, and it was already sliding. And I think he was reaching for the gear there to try and coerce the slide a little bit. It really would not have been that bad if he didn't get bumped by traffic on the way by. Not that they really had anywhere to go, but that'll happen on a shorter track restart. This isn't a true blue short track, but it's close enough, right?
It acts as one.
Yeah, might as well be.
Fortunate for David Moore there. Went to roll out from behind Robert Martin to the top to avoid him right as he turned back to the top. So
Ouch. Yes. That is not the magic that we had in mind here in New Hampshire. A nice now you don't see me, now you do. One driver that has done a reappearing act, Dakota Floyd, finally going to get to be on the front row. After qualifying second, had an EOL penalty to serve from last week. And he now is finally to the outside of Scott Patton here, looking to challenge for the lead for the first time tonight.
Floyd has been very good coming through the field. So has Justin Michael, who is now right behind him as well. So curious to see how this shakes up.
Seth Foudy will be looking to recover here from the outside of row number 3 as we're back underway. And Floyd does not fire out from that outside at all and will get a little helping hand from the fenders of Greg Mall, who will regain the second spot. Down the backstretch they go. Patton already pulling ahead by a couple of car lengths as that was Justin Ritchie bouncing off the outside wall a couple of times. Foudy boxed out of the apron as Price Jr. and Carroll door to door.
Foudy now able to get to the bottom underneath Hessling.
As they stack up. Oh, man. Stewart just about got turned there.
Yeah, very tight further on back. Heath Smith and Charlie Widener, two trucks further back who are also running that little bit lower line.
Smith keeping it in fourth gear down there.
Track is definitely not a bottom favorite on fresh tires.
Doesn't seem that way.
Definitely more even all the way around. Mall now right on the bumper of Patton.
Yeah, this will be the first challenge of the night for Scott Patton's lead. If Greg Mall can make something happen. A quick peek at the weather conditions there. Track temperature has gone up by a single degree in freedom units.
From hot to hot.
Yes. As once you're over 115, it's just a drop in the bucket at that point. It's egg cooking weather. Mall is trying to give it everything he's got here. Justin Michael, Tyler Hessling, Seth Foudy all trying to converge on Dakota Floyd for third as well. Mall getting those left sides there down on that paint. As Foudy threw on Michael for fourth.
If Howdy is definitely back on the move after falling back to 8th. Maul still hanging in there, right in Patton's shadow.
91 laps to go. We know these drivers will have to pit at least once more for fuel. Do you want to take 2 stops for tires? That's the real question. Here's Floyd and Foudy side by side for 3rd.
Yeah, Foudy getting a little loose right at that downshift. Here goes Justin Michael. All the way down on entry, gonna cost him on exit though.
I'm sure Michael wants in on that fun. There's Smith tracking it nearly down to the road course rumble strips there again. Definitely getting a little bit loose there out of 2. Patton able to keep a truck length between he and Maul. Floyd has been able to pull away a little bit from Foudy. I think there's something to be said about the abuse that these low-line drivers are putting on these tires. I mean, what Michael just did right there, trying to get it to hook on corner entry down below the apron, I mean, that is going to overheat. It's going to slip the right rear tire. It's going to just grind up that right front tire as it pushes back up the banking. I mean, you could definitely do it a little bit, but you got to know your limits. Still tightly packed from 8th down to 12th. Richie, Stewart, Smith, Price Jr., and Widener.
Yeah, just a little bit of a gap formed now between Patton and Maul up front.
I mean, a lead is a lead, but, you know, Patton was 2 seconds ahead at the stage break. That's not anything like the car length and a half he's got back to Maul right now.
Definitely not the lead that he wants. Oh, Smith into the wall outside of Stewart. Widener right in that mix on the apron. Smith now to the bottom.
Try to take Stewart low here this time. It's the battle for 9th. Widener wants in the mix. Oh, it's Smith! Whoa!
Oh!
I mean, that is hot dogging it right there. Keeps it out of the wall, but will drop it down to 12th. You kind of had that feeling that might happen with Charlie Widener on his left rear quarter panel. Stewart keeping it tight to the door. That is an arrow reach around. Slip of the tongue there, sorry, but that's essentially what that was that sends Smith down the backstretch. But, he will live to fight another day. Meanwhile, Maul, less than a truck length now.
McLaughlin through the Roval through 3 and 4. Not sure if he isn't coming to the pits.
So McLaughlin will make a pit stop here on lap 67. Interesting timing. And I don't see the jack going up on that truck, so that might be the end of his race. As Foudy looking to complete this pass on Dakota Floyd, slides up out of 4 and will take it. Justin Michael nearly down into the grass there, trying to keep his momentum.
Oh!
Wow.
Brother.
Yeah, no kidding.
Way sideways. Howdy running just a little bit higher now through 3 and 4 now that he's in clean air. About even between Patton and Maul, and then back to Foudy.
Foudy about 1.4 seconds behind. Maul's been able to gap, or Patton's been able to gap Maul rather by about 7/10. So yeah, Maul is right in the middle there. Yeah, I'm not going to escape that one, am I? Oh well. Here is Charlie Widener trying to continue his march forward here. Stewart putting up a good fight. Nathan Carroll running in 7th. Haven't brought up his name much. It's good he needs some quiet races. Last week was his quietest race thus far, and it ended spectacularly. So we'll keep the noise off of him, but he's running inside the top 10. So 3 wide behind him. Richie, Stewart, and Widener.
Widener definitely searching around for what he can do.
Carroll looking for a run on Hesseling, who has migrated down to the apron. Justin Michael drawing nearer to Dakota Floyd as well. That'll be the battle for 4th. As again, Stewart, Ritchie, and Widener 3 wide for a moment. Ritchie trying as best he can to get away.
Widener going to be able to get it done on Stewart. Now going to pull up right to the corner of Ritchie. Just ahead of them, Carroll and Hesseling still side by side for that 6th position.
Carroll underneath. Looks like Justin Michaels taking a peek underneath the Dakota Floyd here as well. They fall back in line down the backstretch.
And Widener will get clear.
Nicely done for Charging Charlie up to 8th.
Oh. And Ritchie with a big dive back. Widener going to block him off. They're now 3 wide off of 4.
What a combo move. Defensive move for Widener down low into 3 and 4 and nearly took a 3 wide 4 position down the front stretch. There's action all over the joint. As we'll jump up to this.
Oh, Widener. All the way to the grass.
Seth Foudy making the move here to the inside of Greg Maul for 2nd as Michael pulling the trigger on Floyd. Foudy is clear. Michael is not. Floyd still ahead. With Maul now back to 3rd. Foudy has 1.6 seconds to clear to get up to Scott Patton. Patton's been able to ride in clean air. Pretty much running the same line. Foudy has been all over this track, trying to make up speed.
Foudy definitely having a roller coaster ride there inside the top 10. From 2nd to 8th and back again.
I want to see like his overhead chart all race long. See just how many different lines he's run, how many times he's been below the apron. It's got to be crazy.
It's a good thing that's not an off track, because he would definitely have a couple penalties by now.
Oh, yeah, he'd be disqualified. He would have been disqualified before the stage.
So Patton with about a 1.2 second lead now is catching lap traffic as they are 3 wide up ahead of him.
Yeah, and that was just a 1.6 second lead. You're looking at the lap times, and found it consistently about a tenth or 3/4 of a tenth faster than Patton. And into lap traffic, it's going to be very interesting to see where Patton can put his truck to get through the traffic. So we're across halfway. Let's jump back to Floyd and Michael, who are door to door. Can Michael get clear into 3? He will be for a split second. Will he slide up? Yes, he will. Floyd will try and cross him up. But Michael's got the spot. Up to 4th. And with Greg Mull ripe for the picket in front of him.
First truck to go lap down under this cycle is going to be Jordan Neese in the 12 truck. Foudy now around him as well.
Hesseling bouncing off the wall. He's got Widener and Carroll side by side behind him. And now Carroll up the middle 3 wide. Is Widener trying to get a 2-for-1 here? Charging Charlie to the inside of Hesseling. Now Carroll stuck on the outside of Justin Ritchie. Gap for the lead is inside of a second now. As Charlie Widener is up to 6. He is on a roll.
Widener, one of your highest movers of the race.
Oh, lap truck bouncing off the wall down the backstretch in front of Patton. Not the 0-0, or rather the single 0-0 of David Moore. But another one further up the road is Patton.
Buddy.
Compromised on exit there by Moore that time. That won't help.
Foudy going to go underneath.
Yeah, I'm having a much easier time with the 0.
Oh, Foudy. A little squirrely off the corner.
Hesseling moving backwards here as Nathan Carroll was able to get through. It will now be Justin Ritchie getting by the 43, and now a door
Justin
from
Michael's
the 10
loose.
as Justin Michael we saw this last time when it came to New Hampshire. That 87 truck got wicked loose in his battle with Andrew Schulte. So Dakota Floyd's been able to get back through now to 4th. Michael back to 5th. As Scott Patton has re-extended the lead to 9/10, but more lap traffic lies ahead. Let's go on board with Michael and watch the hands. Listen to the throttle. I mean, that was 45 degrees snap to the right with the steering wheel there. That's, you don't need to be an expert to see that baby is loose. I mean, I'm sure you felt a similar way. A little bit different track and circumstances, but you just ran the old cheese grater at Atlanta Motor Speedway on Tuesday night. I would imagine there were probably a couple of handfuls of steering wheel on display there.
Yeah, I think after about 10 laps on the tires, I don't think I turned left again. All straight and back steering to the right.
Didn't realize you called for extra stagger on the rear tires there. Man, Michael is just really putting the egg under the throttle pedal there, just barely cracking the throttle. And you can see Charlie Widener much more in command of this truck, and he has caught Michael and Floyd in a hurry.
Yeah, Widener definitely on a mission.
Wanted to prove that last week at Charlotte was not a fluke. Remember, he almost won at Pocono as well. I mean, Widener is just on a roll right now. Looking at lap times across the board, Scott Patton is now the fastest driver on track. Charlie Widener is not too far behind him. As Widener will look underneath of Michael. And that was quick work for Charging Charlie, up into the top 5 now.
I think Michael a little bit hot on the right rear there.
Certainly. So all these drivers tricking my race control software into thinking that they're pitting. When are we actually going to start to see drivers come down pit road for real? I'd say with the way these trucks are handling, you want to be early on pit road, but I'd be afraid to get trapped a lap down with a ill-timed caution.
Definitely something to keep in the back of your mind. Looking at about 45 laps on these tires. So definitely getting close to the halfway split point.
We think that they're good to the end on fuel. It would be close from here on out. As Ryan Nardone has a problem, he has crashed into the inside wall. We just saw him making moves to get back into the top 10. And Nardone now is down to 17th, but we are still green as he crashed off the track. Let's quickly take a look at this in real time as he was just battling with Justin Ritchie. And it just steps out from underneath of Ryan Nardone. Very strange. A little kiss to the inside wall there. We are still green. Patton has extended his advantage now to a 2.5 seconds as Foudy is starting to roll backwards. Greg Mall is still in 3rd, but maybe not for much longer. Charlie Widener through on Dakota Floyd and now catching up to the 2024 Series champion.
Widener on a mission, definitely looking for this thing to go green.
Definitely. I mean, he is absolutely locked in right now. Has been for the last couple of weeks. Nathan Carroll making a move on Justin Michael. As you can see them in the back of the shot there, side by side, much like Widener and Mall here for 3rd. Carroll going to complete his pass, move him up to 6th. There's Widener trying to wrap the grass. Mall putting up a good fight here on the outside. That is Widener clear, and that is Nathan Carroll into the inside wall. Still green. Oh, he was having such a good run. He is now tumbling down the running order. Carroll now back to 20th as Brad Slagle is going to come by Joshua Fracker as well. So Carroll down to 21st. Man, oh man. We'll see Carroll here. Oh, moves up the track, and Rob Martin is there. And that was not much to send him around into the inside wall. Still 50
And
laps
Foudy.
to go as Seth Foudy is going to come down pit road here for real.
Not tricking the system this time.
No.
So Foudy, one of the first to come down pit road, definitely looking to get into a little pocket of clean air.
I mean, it's not that surprising to me that maybe he had burnt his stuff up. I mean, he was working hard to get up to second. Got close to Patton, but not close enough. So now we'll see what the undercut can do. I'll tell you what, he's going to drop right into this group that Nathan Carroll is a part of, if I'm not mistaken. And actually, that is Sergeant Drum and Zachary Groover. Foudy is going to pull away from them rather quickly. I mean, looking at the fall off right now, it is close to 2.5 seconds. It's about 2.6 for Scott Patton from his fastest to his most recent.
And there's
a
a
caution.
caution.
Oh, dear. Well, Foudy is hosed. That's Parker Donaldson. It's getting bad to worse here for Wildish. Donaldson trying to find a place to turn around. Lap 99. We'll restart around 50 to go. As here's a look at Donaldson. That is Billy Bumgarner to his outside. And Donaldson, I think, trying to move up as that's Howell around again. Big shots there for Howell and Donaldson. Billy Bumgarner in the 5. Trying to even find him on my running order here. Let's back it up. So I feel like Donaldson moves up just a little bit to account for Chris Howell underneath of him. And that's going to put him into the quarter panel of Billy Bumgarner. Bumgarner down the track into Howell, and they all three are going to go for a little ride here. As big change in the plans for some of these drivers, I would imagine Patton bringing everybody down pit road. Patton with a big buffer back to Charlie Widener, though, full of lap trucks, so that will help secure Patton's spot as long as he can get into his box clean. Patton wins the race off. Charlie Widener is out second. Floyd out third. Mall out fourth. Michael in fifth. Stewart, Ritchie, Price Jr., Granat, and Hesseling the top 10. There are a couple other trucks in the mix there. They're all a lap down. They all stay a lap down, as you cannot afford to stay out under this caution even to get yourself back onto the lead lap. I'm sure maybe a couple did, like Seth Foudy.
Yeah, Foudy definitely stayed out. Did get his lap back, but he will be at the very end of this very long line of trucks.
Boy, did I not call that one, or did I not call that one? Sorry to Foudy for that.
It wasn't me.
No, it's usually me, unfortunately. Sometimes I feel like it's volume shooting. I just talk a lot, and then, you know, if 50% of the things I say end up happening, then I look like the bad guy at the end of it. So Foudy will have another crack. Nathan Carroll in 16th. A long road to recovery here, but it's now Scott Patton and Charlie Widener, mano a mano at the front of this field, looking for who will be the first repeat driver of the season in victory lane. Back at her green. Great getaway for Patton.
Widener going to hang on to that second position. Floyd and Maul now. Oh, there goes Justin Ritchie around. Gonna stack him up. Oh, big shots. Justin Michael involved.
Lots and lots of drivers with at least a hand in that one. And caution number 6 matches the Max V track record here. As we'll try and figure out where this one starts. We're watching Justin Michael here in the 87. He was the first one that I saw. He's up the track. Again, everybody on fresh tires here. Ripping hot track surface. Michael going to lose it on his own, and as he does, Justin Ritchie is already around. So that is stereo spins for those two. Michael might get saved by the fact that there was already a crash happening behind him. See Nathan Carroll just barely sneaking through on the top side there. Other drivers not going to be so lucky. Big shots there. Oh, and that's Kerry Cleaver up underneath the back end of the 3 truck. Let's go back to Justin Michael and we'll see him all the way through this one. So I think that was Rob Martin that. So there's Michael's part of it. Oh, big shot for Johnny Hamby. Oh, and there's Nathan Carroll getting turned around after he had made it through there.
I think Carroll got a little bit loose and was going to track it down to the wall and saw Justin Michael in his way.
Here's Rob Martin as it opens up in front of him. Woo! Oh, we're not done yet. There's Hamby. There's Carroll. Nice little downhill slalom for Martin to make it through there. Nicely done. You know, it's never the position you want to be at the end of these races. You know, maybe a little bit further back in the running order. But if you could pick your way through the big one, man, you feel like Superman every time. Turns a man night into a good night.
Definitely easier said than done.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely. But then you have a built-in excuse, you know. If you don't make it through,
right.
It's like, oh, well, you know, it's the big one. What am I supposed to do? So this running order now is all jumbled up. Patton will be back in the front row with Widener to the outside. Maul and Floyd on row 2. It's now Stewart and Price Jr. on row 3. Hessling and Granat on row 4. Mike Milfelt and Brandon Groover. First time they've been in the top 10 tonight. They'll restart on row number 5. Ryan Nardone and Jack Watts, keep an eye on them on row number 6. Inside of 50 laps to go. 6th restart of the night. Patton fires off well. Widener with his best restart on the outside yet. Looking to get down in front of Maul, but can't quite pull the trigger.
Oh, man. One into the wall. Hard further back.
I believe that was Trent Drum, and I can't see him on the running order for some reason.
Yeah.
There we go. Drum is come to a stop. And that looks to be potentially the end of the race for Drum. Another one of those drivers that had a great start to his season, but it's going to unravel here at New Hampshire. It's to the outside of Chris Braley here, and Braley not involved. That is Drum getting loose, catching it, loose again, and overcorrects it into the outside wall. Somebody got a glancing blow on their way by. Let's see who that was.
Oh, and Drum is done.
So it is. That's
Heard the engine go.
It's the 35 truck, which is Josh Longbond's. Got a little shot on the way by. But that is Drum's night over. Unfortunately, that is our 7th caution. As these caution laps are making it easier and easier for drivers to continue to stay out. So we are high atop the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. We'll be back in action at the Monster Mile next week, Dover. We go from mile to mile. A lot more banking and a lot more concrete next Thursday night. between now and then. Tuesday night, the Venom Truck Series will be at Talladega. If you thought we haven't had enough chaos and calamity for the first 3 weeks of the season, well, buckle up for some more next Tuesday night. And the Daredevil Series, speaking of chaos, carnage, and calamity, Daredevil is back for the first time in almost a calendar year. We'll be back at Indianapolis Motor Speedway Wednesday night at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Cannot wait for the return of Daredevil. We'll hope to see you all there as well. So we'll be coming to a restart with 40 laps to go. In the grand scheme of things, fairly short run. I know we've already got a couple of heat cycles on these tires, but, I mean, we should see all-out pace from some of these drivers. Really, the only driver that has been slinging at the front of this field right now is Charlie Widener. All the other drivers that have had a go and have made up spots running the apron have been involved in accidents or have been trapped a lap down due to the caution coming out. So Widener got a little bit better of a restart on the second time. Will the third try be the charm for Widener here, stuck up top? Patton has led every single lap thus far, as that was the worst start yet for Widener. Maul might get through here down low. And he will.
Maul back up to second. Now, Stove Price Jr. now looking for... Oh, man.
Wow, Widener sending it down.
Crossover.
As Price and Floyd are door-to-door. Lots of 2 and 3 wide further back. As Widener solidifies his place in third. Price trying to get clear on Floyd for fourth, and he will. But he parks it right in front of him, and Floyd is going to cross him up.
Oh, Nardone all the way down to the bottom.
That was close. He's already been down there once. Doesn't want to do it again.
Here comes Floyd, back on the attack.
Widener is starting to hunt around the bottom here as well, trying to regain lost ground on Maul and Patton. Floyd's still with a little real estate here underneath the 85 of Price, or rather the 29 of Price. Price started off hot with Max V, top 5 at Pocono in his first race. The last couple of weeks, definitely he has languished, being caught up in accidents. This is a good bounce back from the last couple of weeks, though, again into the top 5. He'll have a shot at a podium here as Widener has not moved forward and instead is dropping back towards the 29. A lot to be settled around the top 10 bubble. Justin Michael back up to 9th, but that leaves Brandon Gruber, Tyler Granat, and Ryan Nardone 10th, 11th, and 12th. Nathan Carroll not too far behind them in 13th. Alex Howland, Jack Watts, the rest of the top 15.
Price starting to make up a little bit of ground on Widener.
And Widener was making her Widener there out of 2. Very loose.
Floyd now seeking around that very inside line.
And we have not seen him down there at all. He's been pretty content to ride in the middle and the top side, but now Going below.
Justin Michael as well, a little further back. Also back to that apron line.
Michael will have a go on Michael. Milfeld, that is. Little Mike on Mike violence. As that was a shot to the wall there for Tyler Hesseling, trying to get away from Kyle Stewart. We'll jump back up the road here to Widener and Price. As Charlie's started to find his groove a little bit more. Keeping a little distance between him and the Lil Diabetes Ford F-150. Brandon Groover trying to fend off Ryan Nardone for 10th. Nathan Carroll's picked off Tyler Granat. He's up to 12th now. Good recovery so far for the 63.
Yeah, it looks like Carroll can't get away from the amusement park.
Greg Mall again closing in on Scott Patton, down to 6/10. Last time by, Mall was the fastest driver on track. He's got this good short run burst pace. Just needs to find a way to capitalize and be the first person to dethrone Patton for the lead all night. That is tough sledding, especially here.
Patton definitely knows this track very, very well.
Yes, he does. And with good reason. Not many people can say they have their actual home track on the service. I can't.
I also cannot. I do believe that my nearest track that is on iRacing would be Barber Motorsports Park.
I mean, if you got to claim one, that's not a bad one to have, in my opinion.
No, it's really not.
I was hoping that they would drop a hint of the old Springfield Mile today in the dev blog. They did not. So I'll just have to stick with good old Worldwide Technology Raceway. Again, not a bad shout. Almost equally separated from there as I am to Fairbury.
Pretty steady here at the front. Patton's still a little over half a second out in front of Mall. The two of them, however, are pulling a little bit of a gap on Widener.
Well, they got to hope it keeps trending that way, because last time around, Widener was the fastest driver on track. And Patton was about 0.2 quicker than Mall. So if nothing else, Patton just needs to be faster than the 7, and the rest may sort itself out. 26 laps to go. And this time it's flipped the other direction, and Widener the slowest of the top 3. And Patton the fastest once again.
I think Patton definitely the most consistent.
Definitely.
Out of the top 5.
You know, it's been really entertaining to watch all these guys drop below the apron. But sometimes you don't need the gimmicks. You don't need to be flashy. I mean, I don't know if Patton has left this line the whole race. I seriously don't think he's left the like a half lane off the middle all race long.
Yep, I think even rolling through lap traffic, he still managed to hang on to that line. So.
Pretty much. Maul is trying to move a little bit further down the surface here. See if he's got any shot at catching up to Patton now with 24 to go. Here's Stewart and Hesseling side by side with Justin Michael breathing down their neck.
And I know we had said that he was consistent, but Patton, the past 2 laps, exactly the same lap time. So, he's definitely got it figured out.
Maul's lap times have picked up a little bit, but they are still not as quick as the race leader. Stewart with his hands full with Hesseling as he tries to get away with this 6th spot. Hesseling not going to go down without a fight.
A little bit of a group forming towards the back half of the top 10.
And you can see as we ride along with
Oh,
Justin
there goes
Michael
Nardone
again,
wall.
as that is Ryan Nardone, slow, but we're still under green. Man, that's the second time Nardone has charged right back up through the field, gotten into the top 10, and hit the wall or spun. We'll drop back to 13th, but I would imagine he's knocked the toe out on this truck. Have a little bit of aero damage. That will make that truck even more loose. But Michael, again, struggling with the handle on this truck. It is really trying to rip out from underneath of him. Nathan Carroll back up to 10th. Great recovery from him. Needs to hold on for 21 more laps to bring it home. Patton consistently now 2 to 3 tenths quicker than Maul, and Maul is dropping back towards Charlie Widener, who again is the fastest driver on track. Widener's got this middle of the run pace figured out.
That time again, Widener about a 10th faster than Patton. Maul about a 10th slower than that. Here goes Floyd looking to make a move on Stove Price Jr.
Floyd, the long run guy, probably knew exactly what he was doing when he let Price go by. I don't know where Floyd is going to end up in the pantheon of long run drivers here on the channel, but we saw a great run Tuesday night from Chad Stearns, who is the other quintessential long run guy that always jumps to mind. And
yeah,
also,
always scary. Always scary looking in the rear view and seeing Chad on his way through.
Absolutely. And one long run guy that runs both Tuesdays and Thursdays now, Jack Watts, up to 13th, moving past the ailing Ryan Nardone. Watts snuck in for a top 10 late at Atlanta with Venom as well. Oh, Price dooring Floyd as he got a little bit loose there. You know, if your truck is going to come out from underneath of it and you're going to make contact with somebody, that's the nice way to do it. That was flush, door to door. And Floyd
Just
will
a
make
little love tap.
Yeah, just a bit. Love shove. Maul now half a second clear of Widener. Lap times are starting to even out a little bit between Maul and Widener here. I would imagine Charlie pushing the issue a little bit. But tantalizingly close to getting up to second here. Very loose there out of 2.
Yep, Widener and Patton last time around almost identical lap times. Maul about a 10th slower. Man, Maul real squiggly coming off of the corner.
Nathan Carroll throw on Mike Milfelt to get up to 9th.
Man, that time Widener 0.3 faster than Greg Mall.
The ebbs and flows in this 95 truck. So I'm not sure if that was an ebb or a flow, but Widener stepping out there.
Yeah, Widener, the only remaining truck on track, still running 31s. Definitely still has the tires underneath him, at least for now.
That time Dakota Floyd in a little bit of clean air, running a 31. 31.92 for Floyd. Everybody else, like you mentioned, into the 32-second bracket. Nathan Carroll going to pick off another one here. He's looking to get up to 8th on Kyle Stewart. Stewart's headed the wrong direction. Carroll might not be done. He's got Tyler Hessling not too far ahead. Back up to Widener and Mall. There's Patton checked out, 1.9 second advantage for him. As Mall continues to fade away.
And that time around, Floyd 0.2 quicker than both these guys in front of him.
Mall really, really loose there, out of 4. You could see it right as he stepped on the power. Out of 4, that truck was not going to cooperate. It cost him a ton of time. If Widener could get it hooked up here down low, he might have it as Mall is loose and into the wall. Widener will be clear to slide up if he wants it. And you know he does. Widener to P2. Charge and Charlie started 28th. He's up to 2nd. What a night for him. Floyd, started, quote unquote, 2nd. Really started at the tail of this field. He's had to work hard. He's made it back up to the top 5. And he'll have Greg Mall in front of him to try and get up to the podium.
Floyd now being the fastest truck on track. Floyd still 31.974.
Very good for this point of the run. Not even a full second of fall off for him, as Mall is just hanging on for dear life at this point with 9 laps to go with the stripe this time.
Man, Mall fighting that truck with everything he's got.
To point out, Charlie Widener a 10th quicker than Scott Patton last time around. He needs to keep that pace up to have a shot with 9 to go.
You say that, but I don't know if Patton has a little bit too much of a lead there.
It's pretty big, and not only that, Patton has been untested this entire run. I'm sure he's got plenty of tire life left underneath of him, even if Widener is able to close this gap up somehow, some way. But the other factor that could come into play here for Patton is lap traffic. They are nose to tail in front of him. Are they going to be nice, or are they going to continue the space that they are entitled to on the track to battle for position here? We will see. Justin Michael through on Stove Price as Price is headed the wrong direction now. Michael back into the top 5. And Nathan Carroll trying to close in on Tyler Hessling here for 7th. So some things to keep an eye on with 6 1/4 laps left to go. The other thing to keep in mind with all these ill-handling trucks, do I even need to say it?
Widener, a little bit of a slide there. Floyd right on the tailgate.
Yes, he is. So these two will be out of it for the win without some kind of intervention, whether it stays green or not. Gap is up to 2.5 seconds as Widener now struggling to hang on to this truck and struggling to hang on to the runner-up spot. Floyd is going to send it down low. Widener looking to cross him underneath, but Floyd positions his truck beautifully. And Dakota Floyd is back up to second. Nicely done.
Floyd definitely had the pace. Just had to make it all the way back through the field.
Lots of positions in and around the top 5 and the back half of the top 10 tightening up here with 4 to go. There's one truck slow on the bottom of the track. Maybe just trying to stay out of the way. I believe that's Rob Martin. As Patton will go by around the top side. He is through a big batch of lap traffic now with 3 magic miles left to go.
Widener with a tiny clip of the grass on entry of 3.
Floyd is putting in good lap times here, but it is too little too late. Patton, mired in a little bit of lap traffic, is loose. I believe that's the Billy Baumgartner machine in front of him. But the gap has come down to 2 seconds very quickly. And will continue to drop here as Patton will see the white flag this time. Across the stripe, race is official. And not a moment too soon, as Floyd last time around was 4 tenths faster. The long run driver, I would imagine, was hoping this run would be that much longer so we could have a shot at it. But it'll be a first repeat winner of the season, and it is the hometown hero, Scott Patton. Wire-to-wire victory at New Hampshire. The mile just got that much more magic. Driver 46, parking in victory lane for the second time this season. Patton with the win. Floyd in second. Widener in third. Maul and Michael, your top 5. I think he might go for a full lap here.
It was definitely had it rolling.
Well, if anything else, he'll go for the pole this year. I don't think he'll be able to pull off the full Kyle Larson. Soaking this one in, it's win number 14 in the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series for Scott Patton, the points leader. second win of the season, but his first here at New Hampshire, both on the channel and with the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series. What a way to do it. Take the pole, lead every single lap with the help of a few cautions. And he will whip it around, put it in position for a nice patented paints picture across that checkered stripe there. Let's get to the full finishing rundown, shall we? It will be Patton with his second win of the season. He's the first repeat winner of the season, just as he was the first repeat stage winner as well. Patton with a wire-to-wire victory. Floyd in second. Widener in third. Mall and Michael your top five. Stowe Price in sixth. Tyler Hesseling seventh. Nathan Carroll in eighth. Great recovery for him. Kyle Stewart and Tyler Granat your top 10. Mike Milfelt Jr. will be in 11th. Randy Groover in 12th. Jack Watts to 13th. 14th for Alex Hallen. Brad Slagle to round out the top 15. Ryan Nardone in 16th. Zachary Groover in spot number 17. It's Chris Surgeon in 18th. Rob Martin in 19th. And 20th for Billy Bumgarner. 21st for Joshua Fracker. Josh Longbones in 22nd. 23rd for David Rigsby. Kerry Cleaver in 24th. Chris Braley in 25th. David Moore 26th. Parker Donaldson 27th. Christopher Allen 28th. It is Michael Van and Seth Foudy. Disappointing P30 for him. He was rolling here tonight. 31st for Trent Drum. It is 32nd for Johnny Hamby. Justin Ritchie in 33rd. Heath Smith, man, what a nightmare season start for driver one, back at 34th. Jordan East 35th, CJ McLaughlin and Logan Murray, your 37 finishers here this evening. As it is podium interview time here, as soon as I can get some replays queued up. So we will bring down the music here and go in search of last week's race winner. So it'll be back-to-back Booth 200 interviews here on a Thursday night for Charge and Charlie Widener. We'll bring home the podium once again here. And, man, you had that thing rolling all night tonight. So welcome back to the booth, and congrats on another strong run.
Thanks. It's good to be back up here.
I mean, we've known that line in particular to work in the past. How did you find your way down to the bottom? Was it through the course of the race? Was it something you've been practicing for a while? But how did that come to be, and how did you manage to nail it so well?
Yeah, I've seen that line ran before here, but I've never been able to do it. It was just always, I couldn't get it to rotate like I wanted. And I figured it out by accident on that first run. I went down there to avoid somebody. I can't remember who it was, and it just stuck. And I got alongside of them and kept going. So I just kept trying it over and over. The unfortunate thing is it took like 10 laps before it was really effective. But yeah, I was surprised it worked, but I just kept going at it. I mean, I started pretty far in the back and had a really rough first run to get up here and get a podium, and that's pretty good.
Yes, indeed it is. Joshua, what you got for Charlie?
Man, congrats on the P3 and being back up here in the booth with us. You've had a phenomenal start off to the season. I mean, definitely the place that you want to be, getting the points that you need to. I mean, is there what are the thoughts as we move into the mid-season swing as far as points and championship running goes?
Well, not to bring the mood down, but next Thursday is probably my last one. I got a schedule change at work, so I can't do Thursday nights anymore. So that's I'm glad that I'm running good on the last few weeks I have, but yeah, I mean, of course, right? I'm actually doing good in the trucks when I have a freaking schedule change, but it'll be okay. I'll be back one day.
Well, that sucks tremendously, but yeah, like you said, at least we're getting to spend a lot of quality time with you here the last few weeks, and looking for one more good run next week at Dover, I guess, to send it off the right way, if indeed that's the last one. Regardless, great to get to talk to you once again here tonight. Congrats on another podium, and let's get some shout-outs in before we let you go.
Yeah, start off with Deb and Carrie at CNC Home Designs for sponsoring this league, and I got great teammates, Heath and Mike. I couldn't get them to run the bottom like I could. I couldn't coach them good enough, so unfortunately they didn't have the greatest finishes. Scott Patton with Patton and Paints, even though he beat me, still thanking him. You guys for the broadcast, I love going back and watching it. Every race, I just enjoy hearing it, and just Lehman, all the admins, everyone that's involved in making this league run. It's a really fun league, and I enjoy on Thursdays coming in here and racing with these guys.
Alrighty, partner. Well, we'll hope to get to talk to you one more time next week at Dover, but in the meantime, go rest up after this one and go celebrate. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, guys.
Let's move up the order now. It is a runner-up finish, and by the look at the scorecard, you finished right where you started. Dakota Floyd up to second. That isn't quite tell the full story here tonight. You had a lot of work in front of you to get up to this P2.
Yeah, it was a long night from the start from my boneheaded moment last week at Charlotte. So I will say it was an absolute ton of fun to try to carve up the field there. It was a lot of work. We were able to get back into the top 5, I think, there for the stage. So definitely a ton of fun, and I wish I had about 10 more laps to get to Scott there at the end.
Yeah, that's what I was going to point out as well. Those last 2 or 3 laps, it looked like Patton was struggling a little bit in traffic. You were not. You just started to play around with moving to the bottom side of the track there, and it seemed to be rolling really well there at the later portion of the run.
Yeah, the whole race I had stayed on the track. I'd stayed up there, and I wasn't even shifting the truck the whole night up until that point. So once I saw Widener doing that, I was like, man, he's really fast on the long run. Like, he was killing us on that run before. So it was either make or break at that point. I didn't have anything on the track for him, so I said, why not? So I sent it to the bottom, and man, it was a rocket ship in the last 15 laps of that run. So shout outs to him for showing me how to get it done.
I'm sure he'll love to hear that. Josh, what you got?
Man, congrats on the P2 and being back up here in the booth with us. I mean, really no words. I mean, you had a good truck all night, you qualified well, but like you say, you just had to carve it up through the field. I mean, a track like this, as flat as it is, walk us through what it takes to actually make passes and get around people.
A lot of patience, especially with how loose it was off the corners on both sides of the track, more so in 2. But you just had to be really patient with whoever was on your inside or your outside. You just had to give them a little bit of space. Don't give them too much so to run off the corner. You had to at least pinch them off a little bit if you were up top. And it was super hard. But if you were a little bit more patient than the guy you were running with and kept the tires underneath you, you could make the passes. And this is, I think, one of the few tracks on the schedule that passing is able to be done in multiple lanes.
Well, certainly, they were juking and jiving every which way here tonight, and you were able to pick off a few there late. Great stuff from you all night, having a battle up through the field to wind back up in second. So congrats on getting back to the podium here. Let's get some shout-outs in before I let you go.
Absolutely. We've got to thank the team always first, and Kyle had a great finish there at the end of this race, and I know Richie had some unfortunate mishaps on that one restart, so I hate to see that for him. Both those guys were absolutely top 10 cars all night long. And again, shout out to everybody on the track racing me clean, especially coming up through the field. I mean, a couple door bangs, but it's New Hampshire, you expect that kind of thing. But everybody was super clean. It was a phenomenal race and very few yellows, so awesome racing from everybody. And shout out to the league and all the sponsors that keep this thing running. Awesome place to come back and race every week. I really do love it here. Shout out to you guys up in turn 200 for the awesome broadcasts every week. I always go back and watch these things, and everybody that supports me week in and week out doing this racing thing.
Awesome stuff here tonight. Congrats on the P2, and we'll hope to talk to you next week at the Monster Mile.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful night.
One driver whose night is just a little bit more wonderful, I would imagine, would be Scott Patton. An absolute can opened up on the field here tonight at the home track. The pole, the wire-to-wire win. Welcome back to the booth, and congrats on a long-awaited win here.
Appreciate it, guys. That was I wish more races were like that. I know it wasn't the most exhilarating race maybe for the fans, but we'll take it.
I mean, it's almost comical. I mean, not that, no offense, you didn't get a ton of TV time here tonight because there was great battling all through the field, but there were drivers riding the wall, running the middle, going down to the inside wall, sometimes a little bit too close to the wrong parts of the inside wall. But, I mean, you hardly strayed from your line there in the high middle portion of the track at all tonight. I mean, does it just come down to comfortability and laps logged, or is that really just the fast way around here?
I'm not sure. The guys, we were joking in the green room down there that the guys asked me if I saw Charlie's line and how he was coming. I was like, no, I never got a chance to see him, so I don't know. I knew what he was doing, and I've seen other people do that. I was worried in the first, the first one of those green flag runs. He got up to third or fourth maybe, and he was coming quick, I believe. And that kind of put me on concern for the last half of the race, but because I knew that honestly, like my line is my comfort zone, right? Like I'm familiar with that. I know where every crack, every seam on that track is, and how to treat every line if we get off the line a little bit different, how to drive it a little bit different to make up the lap time. But the apron is not something that I do, and it hasn't been my jam ever. So I knew if Charlie got to me, I was going to be forced to go down there to at least defend, if not try to run it, and that would have forced me outside of my comfort zone. But luckily, we never got put in that situation. So.
Certainly did not. I mean, Greg Mull got close a couple of times, but even then it didn't really look like you had to change up all that much. It's just kind of the track position prevailed.
Yeah, track position has been key at this track for quite some years now. So, yeah, I knew that was our strategy going in, is to qualify, put all our energy in that, which we pulled off, and then just stay up front, whether it meant track position, where the caution. Luckily, when the cautions fell tonight, it was pretty black and white as to staying out before the stage and then pinning at the stage and then staying out after, and then the yellow flag flew right at the right time for that green flag stop, what would have been a green flag stop in the second stage there. So, yeah, it all kind of worked in our hand tonight.
Always seems like the way you should, in theory, draw up every race. Start on the pole, lead every lap, I take the win. Yeah, that sounds good. It was a plan well executed. Joshua, what you got for the race winner?
Man, congrats on the win. Definitely proved that home track is the best place to be. I mean, you're definitely showing out this season after coming up just short on points. Definitely racking them up here. I mean, what's the strategy for points racing?
So far, it's been working pretty well, and I think I'm just using the same strategy that I mentioned at the end of last season, where I just had too many mental errors, whether it be pit road mistakes, entry to pit roads, silly, incidents, getting back in the pack and just throwing the race away because we're frustrated. Those types of things we're trying to delete from our playbook. So far, so good this year. Just collecting the points when we can. I know it's still going to come down to a battle at the end, but we are ready for it for sure, and we're getting a lot of practice on our belts like tonight. We're just showing them that we're here to play for the long run for sure.
Certainly, if you wrap around to the last 10 races between this season and last season, you are absolutely on fire right now. No doubt about it. And you will take the win here tonight at the home track. Hopefully that truck passes Tech, I guess. That's the last hurdle to clear. But we'll see about that. In the meantime, though, let's get some shout-outs in before we let you go.
Sure. Certainly the guys at Bandit Motorsports, there was a couple of teammates back there that were certainly feeding me information as I needed it to stay up front there for a successful race tonight. So hats off to them. It takes a full team effort to pull off a dominant race like this. So Stone River Outfitters, for all your fly tie and fishing needs. If you're doing any fishing this fall, give them a try. StoneRiverOutfitters.com. Tell them Scott sent you. And New England Racing Museum on the Hood. I was just up there playing around last weekend at a car show, saying hi to Dr. Dick Bergman up there. He's doing his thing up there, and he'll be hanging out during NASCAR weekend. So if you're coming up to the racetrack at New Hampshire, he'll be hanging around. And that's all I got. You guys certainly turn 200. And that's the other thing I was going to mention is this title. I think we have that much more vengeance this year, in this season in particular, for all you guys have done for us too. And I know it's your closing season, so this one is it's going to mean a lot if we can pull it off. And we got our eyes on the prize, and appreciate everything you guys do for the broadcast for us.
Well, we can't root for anybody, but Yeah, it would be really, really cool. So we'll keep sending the positive energy your way, but you certainly didn't need it tonight. What an absolute whooping you put on the field. Go celebrate this one, and go rest up as well, and we'll hope to talk to you again at the Monster Mile next week.
Sounds good. Appreciate it, guys.
So that is Patton's second win of the season. He's the first to get to 2 in season number 2 of 2025. Win number 14 in series history. Patton, like you said, is on a roll right now. And, man, it's going to be interesting to see who steps up. Ryan Nardone faltered a little bit here tonight. Dakota Floyd looking to be a little bit more in the form that we saw him last season after kind of stumbling out of the starting blocks a little at the start of this season. Certainly, the void is there, but Patton is on top of it.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely another very brilliant race. Lots of battles all the way through. I was a little disappointed for Seth Foudy getting caught out on pit cycle. I was really excited to see him, see if he could have anything for Patton there at the end. But definitely a great race overall. Lots of action. Max V, I mean, they always put on a very great race. Super happy to be here, as always.
Yes, they do. This was a great one here tonight at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. And we'll have to catch you from 1 mile to the next. It's Dover, the Monster Mile. For some reason, they're only racing the All-Star race that are next year for the NASCAR Cup Series. What a bonehead move that is. But we will prove NASCAR wrong with a great Max V race there next Thursday night. Catch us at the usual time, 9:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Next week, we will be live with the Venom Truck Series from Talladega. 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time for that one. And the return of the Daredevil Series, long awaited. We're going to Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the Mecca of Motorsports, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time for that one. Absolute classic Crown Jewel Turn 200 race. You do not want to miss it. It's going to be a fantastic time. Appreciate everybody that was hanging out with us here tonight. The Motichek gang, as always. Thanks to Lisa Carroll. Thanks to Rob Martin, Zach Magris, Real Everton. And I think that was it. Appreciate anybody that was watching along, whether you were commenting or not. And we'll hope to catch you for some more racing action next week. That's what we got for you here tonight on behalf of the Max V admin team. And for Mr. Joshua Motichek, I'm Tommy Cook saying, until we meet again, so long from New Hampshire Motor Speedway, where Scott Patton is victorious for the 14th time in his career. Have a good night, everybody. This has been a live broadcast on Turn 200. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of when we go live next. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.